Okay, we're sitting here, we're looking at a Blackmagic studio camera, micro studio camera, a photo something, I can't remember what it's called, photo dioptics adapter. It's got the built-in bit of glass in there to use a Fujinon lens. This is a Fujinon 14:1, I think, or 16:1, I can't remember. Lens off it's a B4 2/3 inch, I think. I'm very vague today, but bear with me. This particular setup is running with full CCU control from the Blackmagic CCU control panel, and here we also have the lens being controlled by, and you're not supposed to look at this, this is a little secret, oh, it's behind my hand. This is the prototype, there it is down there. It's a big bunch of wires and connectors, but as you can see here, it's got a Blackmagic shield on a little board down here. This will all be packaged in a nice little box, similar to the one I showed here in the previous video. It's going to be a bit bigger than this because this box has got so many connectors on it. I'll go through them. First of all, it's got obviously the B&Cs for data in coming from the return video. This is obviously going to be mounted at the camera end. It's got the feed going out that then goes up to the micro studio camera, so we can control all the colorimetry of the camera, and it's also got 12 volts power coming in. As powers the same power that's going to the camera, and I've got the same power going to the 5-inch video assist monitor up the top there. Now on the other end, there's a whole plethora of connectors that aren't actually mounted on anything yet. We have a 6-pin mini DIN which goes out to the zoom. This is the zoom demand unit, which you use with your thumb. So you use it like this. If you're on a panhandle, obviously I've just got it done hooked up to the leg here at the moment. But when you're on a bigger thing, you use this so that can move left and right. You can also move it up and down to control the iris. I'll show that later on. The focus unit here goes to a little, this is a 4-pin mini DIN, and you can't see these little interface boards. These are, it's like an exploded interface. But now we have another cable going up to here, which is the cable that comes out of the actual Fujinon lens. It will go to a connector that controls the iris and a few other things, and we have another cable which is up under here. That's the zoom controller, so it also goes to the box down here. And last but not least, we have this cable here which comes off the focus control unit. Now this focus control unit is my own design. It's all done on the 3D printer. So we have the actual mount, which mounts onto the pre-made screw holes that already exist on the Fujinon lenses. I probably covered this in the previous video. So you've got a screw mount here, and underneath, I can't get under there, but underneath there, it's in a servo unit. This focus gear is a 72 tooth gear designed specifically for the Fujinon focus mount. Again, this is all done on the 3D printer here. I've got a semi-attached little clutch mechanism in there, but I'm not happy with the way it's working, and I think by the time I finish this software we probably won't need it, because I've got a configuration system in here that will fix all that up. So subsequently we are controlling the focus, the zoom, and the exposure, the iris. And we can control that from the Fujinon calls them demand units. This is the focus demand unit. This is the zoom demand unit focus. Now there's a button you push down to enable the iris control on the zoom unit. and there's also a button you can use to do different functions by holding in the focus demand unit. This box also has tally light on it, as seen in a previous video. Here you can see the tally light's yellow, although it's probably overexposed. If I switch, you see it's yellow because it's got both, it's camera 7, it's got both the program and preview on it. If I just switch off the preview, you'll see it's gone red. I'll switch the preview back on here, it'll go yellow. I'm going to put the program off, and it'll go green. So we've got green for preview, red for on air, and then when they're both on air it goes yellow, which probably means nothing to anybody. So there we have the rig. I've currently got this thing being controlled, as I said, through the this is a ATEM TVS HD, the new one. I'm just going to switch that back over to the CCU, and you can see here we've got up to 8 cameras. So I can go back to camera 1. Camera 7 is the Micro Studio camera with the B&Cs in and out. So I've got return video coming here to do the CCU control, and I've got vision coming out, 1080i going into the TVS. There's the TVS down there. I'm just going to very quickly just show you some of the functionality. If I go over to the control panel, and I'm just going to move up and down the iris, and you can see here as I'm increasing and decreasing the iris, the exposure is going up and down. You can see the iris rings going up and down. I'm just doing this very slow, in little slow steps. So that's the iris. I'm going to go over to the zoom, and I'm just going to do very slight light zoom movements on the zoom, and coming back over here you can see I'm zooming out. There's a zoom here. So this is all done remotely on the CCU. I'll just zoom that back in again, and you'll see here now I'm just going to go down here and do the focus, and as I come here you'll see the focus is turning here, very slight turns. So if you had this camera, say, mounted on a robotic head of some kind, you didn't have a camera on there, you can still do all your zooms and focuses from the ATEM end. And remember, this is all being data coming down. This is the SDI cable, return video SDI cable. You can't see my finger, there it is there. So you don't have to have network cables or anything running all the way to the camera itself. Now here I'm going to show you some of the little things here. First of all, let's have a look at the focus. Now this focus is designed to fit in your palm of your hand, but it's also designed to sit on the left hand side of your tripod if you're using it on a bigger head. This is temporary. This is only just so I can do this demonstration. Now as I turn the focus, you'll see up here I've done this so that you get very fine control. You can see that's turning very tightly, very minutely. And then if you have a look at the picture itself, I don't know whether this is going to show up and you get here, but let's just see what happens if I do it here. I can see it with my eyes, but I don't know whether the iPhone's picking it up or not. But you can see I can wind the focus right out, focus right in, and I can focus right through, and I'm doing very long turns, which gives you really fine control. There is a setting which I won't show you, but I'll show you. On here on this board there's a little jumper here which you can set for different, whether it's slow, medium or fast, depending on how you want to use it. I've got it on the slowest so I can get the finest control of it, and see, I can turn it really fast as well if I want. Turn it back really fast. So that's kind of the way that works. Now there's a little trick you can do with this. Some people in Australia, most people like to push focus. So you turn forward and focus pushes, and you can see here as I'm doing that, the focus, as I turn clockwise, I'll just keep turning this. Notice this is a infinity turn. You can just keep turning that got a little thing here for putting your finger in. On the later version, there's actually a little hole here as well you can use to just use your finger, and it's a very soft turn, so there's no friction at all on it, which I was going to put friction on it, but I kind of like it without the friction. But as you can see, as I'm turning clockwise, looking from the lens from the back, you'll see it's actually turning clockwise as well. So that's me turning clockwise. This is me turning anti-clockwise. But there's a little setup you can change. I won't go into detail here at the moment, but I'm just going to quickly press the setup button. Hang on, let's get focus first. Press the setup button. The blue light comes on, and if I press this thing in once and then come out of setup, okay, we come out of setup. Now you'll find that as I turn the focus knob forward, oh, I haven't changed it. Let me just do that again. Setup. I haven't got my diagnostic window open, so I can't see it. So let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4. And oh, hang on, let me have a look at my diagnostics window. Just bear with me for a moment. Okay, it's telling me that it's not doing it. So obviously, either I haven't written that software, or I dreamt I wrote it, or what. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, I must go and read my. Anyhow, take my word for it. That's the way it works. Just to get out of setup mode there. So you can set the focus up to work for people who like it. Push focus clockwise or pull focus clockwise. And once it's set up, it stores it in non-volatile memory. So every time you turn it back on again, everything works all right. I'm intrigued why that doesn't work, because that's the last bit of software I wrote. Okay, so now let's quickly talk about the zoom. And with the zoom, it's designed to change hands here. It's designed to get your thumb on it and then zoom in and zoom out. And as you can see here, the further you push the thumb over, the faster the zoom. And I'm going to zoom in. So I'm just very slight movement, so you get really fine control of the zoom. And you've got to remember that you want to use the Fujinon zoom controller. It's going to set you back, I think, $1,500, isn't it, or even more? I can't remember anything. I'm just focus. So if I had two hands, I can show that you can actually zoom and focus at the same time. It's not as though you can only one or the other will work. Let me just focus on that. There we go, they're focused. And then let's just zoom back. Just incidentally, there's a software bug in the SDI, the SDI Arduino shield that Blackmagic make. I've notified them about it. I'm waiting for them get their response back from them about it. But when you're doing a zoom using the zoom control on the software control panel, it sometimes doesn't send the end of zoom command out, and so subsequently the camera will keep zooming. I've written some software to time that out, but hopefully that will get fixed, and then I don't have to have all that extra burden on the software. So that's the zoom. That's using the thumb here, and as I said, both the zoom and the focus are designed to give you very, very fine control of the lens. Now, just another little thing that I haven't yet got to the bottom of is that this particular lens is doing a little bit of zoom drifter, which I've got to work out why. I've got a feeling there's a tweak on the lens somewhere that you can put a null in, but I wouldn't worry about that for the moment. And now the third thing I just quickly wanted to talk about, seeing that we're almost at 15 minutes, is the actual, you can control the iris from this demand unit as well. And the way you do that, let's get a bit of focus. The way you do that is you just push the button in on the joystick. Come up here, and you'll see that you see the light comes on, and now you can just what it does, it first of all disables the zoom, so you can't accidentally zoom the shot. So I can move this left and right and there's no zoom activity at all. But as I move it up and down, you'll see that the exposure is changing over here. See, I'm cranking the iris down. Again, very fine control. If I take my finger off the button, it's going to go back to where the iris was. And if I go up, you see the exposure goes up, and the iris itself, you'll see here, you see the iris is going up and down. So the trick is you set the exposure you want, and then you just push the button, and then it'll stay at that exposure, and then the iris is no longer being controlled, and we've gone back to doing zooms. So that's only if you want to use this camera as a standalone. And I just tried to set the iris on the iPhone. I realised I don't have control of that. Yeah, so if you just want to use this camera as a standalone without an ATEM or anything like that, you can, you've got your focus demand unit, you've got your zoom demand unit, and also you can control the iris. I mean, you can also just switch the iris to manual here and do it on the ring. But when you've got servo control, it overrides it. The same with the focus. The focus, you have to actually physically remove the demand unit from here. And the zoom, there's also a setting on the actual zoom on the Fujinon lens to go to manual zoom as well. So you can use all three servos here standalone at the same time as using the ATEM's control panel. And I'm going to leave off now, because the next time I talk to you about this system, this is going to be all in its own box. I'm waiting for the special Fujinon connectors, which are the ones on the main zoom, which is the cable that hangs out of the lens, and the actual zoom cable up here. Now I've noticed with some of these Fujinon lenses there's two different types of connector up here. There's a 12 pin and an 8 pin. On this particular unit here, oh, you've been looking at my circuit diagrams, have you? On this particular camera lens, I've actually got a converter cable, which I can't find one, but it is here somewhere. And it actually converts from one type. Oh, it's actually the one on the lens. You see, up here, it's actually coming out to one of these 8 pins. So you can either buy the converter, but when I sell these, I'm just probably going to sell them using with these 8 pin connectors, which will plug straight up under the zoom. Just as a quick note, and I'm sure people are going to email me about this. This particular adapter here, photodiox B4 to micro 4 thirds, it's got the bit of glass in there, and subsequently you can use the lens in ×1, and of course in ×2 it works just as well. Mind you, you do lose your 1.5 stops, but that's expected. But when you wind the iris wide open, you unfortunately you get it blurs, and I've been told that this is different between some lenses do, some lenses don't, but all the lenses I've got do. So just something to be aware of. If you just use a normal non-glassed version, the cheap $70 versions of these things, you don't get any blurring, but you have to run on ×2. But the way technology is going at the moment, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to have something out that's going to give you the best of both worlds. Now on that note, I am signing off. Any questions, email me please. Thank you, goodbye.